What's up, guys? My name's Droven. Today I've got some more Minecraft and Reddit stories. The first story's from r/confession. I've been contacted recently regarding footage I have on an old hard drive, and I've been offered a small fortune for it. It's a really difficult decision to make. Without going into details too much and putting things at risk, suffice it to say that in my younger days, I happened upon footage that could be considered blackmail. It wasn't my intention to use it as such. I was just in a bad crowd that didn't really have morals. There's enough of this footage to put people away for life, but it most definitely would cause untold chaos in those people's lives for their families. Since it's blackmail material and the people are famous, it gets a little tricky. Oh dang, this is crazy. I don't know for sure whether this is something that would kill or endanger others to obtain, but I know that giving it to the proper authorities would end badly. I unfortunately live in a country where the intelligence agency is run with corrupt people who would probably arrest me to bury the truth. But I was contacted recently and offered a lot of money for it. I'm not sure how they knew I had it, since I didn't even know I had it until I was reminded by an old friend about it. I just don't know what to do. On one hand, seeing justice would be nice, and it kind of feels like a fairy tale at this point. I can't verify what they intend to do with it, which bothers me. Like, what if this is a setup so they can bury the truth again? On the other hand, it's all too much for me to handle by myself. If there's a chance I can be rich and get it off my chest in one foul swoop, I feel like that's what most people would do. I just need some guidance. Like, honestly, I would make a copy of it and then sell it and then be rich. I don't know though. It kind of all feels a little fishy. Like, how did this person even know that they had it? Like, maybe the person that reminded them knows that other person. I don't know. That's a tricky situation, boys. All right, this next one is from Neighbors from Hell. Was told to move because I didn't introduce myself. Okay, that's wild. I bought a house and never went around to officially introduce myself. I even started meeting some neighbors from being outside while doing yard work. I consider myself polite, quiet. I don't have crazy parties. People aren't coming and going all hours of the night, and I mind my own business. About a year living in my home, the neighbor across the street, I'd met her husband but never her, marches over and knocks on my door. At first, I don't know who she is, so I decided not to answer. She eventually yells through the door and asks why I won't come talk to her. I turn my doorbell camera on and say hello. I'm not able to come to the door, but ask what I could do for her. She goes into a tirade of how she's never met me. She never sees lights on in my house. She's concerned that it sits empty most days. Just let bro be antisocial. Gosh, he's an introvert. I'm fairly shocked by this, given I've never met her nor seen her before. I do, in fact, live in the house I purchased, and I actually live in it every day. I ask which house she's from, and that sets her over the edge. She yells about being my neighbor and how rude it is that I never introduced myself to her. I'm confused because I still don't know which house she's from, and again, politely ask for clarification. This causes her to yell, "If you don't know who I am, that's your fault, and you shouldn't be here. You need to move." And with that, she walked away. Dang, yeah, that's a whole Karen. Like, I don't know what happened to her that day that caused her, like, has she been like waiting every day for a year for this guy to come see her? Like, what? The next day, I try to smooth things over. She was passive aggressive, but thanked me for coming over and stated that's all she really wanted, and I've never seen her in person again. But I have experienced her calls to the police claiming things like, I egged her house when no eggs were found on the house. I stole some kind of light fixture from their front yard, and a personal favorite, I threw a party so loud it woke her up in the middle of the night. All things I absolutely did not do. Eventually, the police told her she'll get fined if she keeps wasting their time. Okay, so she's psychotic. There, now we know. Not too long ago, I noticed their dog was running up and down the street with no collar on. I was able to collect him and walked him over to their house. The husband answered, quickly took the dog, didn't even say thank you, and shut the door. A different neighbor saw the whole thing and came over to tell me how horrible these people have been to me and that they've been spreading rumors about me. I don't plan on moving anytime soon, but Neighbors from Hell are truly the worst, and I don't enjoy my yard nor my deck anymore. Hopefully when I find the motivation to sell, I'll be able to find neighbors who aren't completely insane. Yeah, bro, your neighbors are nuts. Those are not I mean, the husband seemed in the beginning like he wasn't. But I think I know now why him and his wife get along so well, and it's because they're both the same kind of crazy, maybe different types of crazy. Story number 3 from r/confession. Bought a guy some groceries, but he stole the rest of them. I, 44 female, was shopping in a Walmart. A man with a cart of groceries stopped and asked me if I could help him. He said his card was declined and he was just trying to buy some groceries for his family and kids. His buggy had eggs, bread, meat, cheese, veggies, nothing sketchy. I told him I can't give him any money, but if he'd pick his top few items, I would buy those for him. He thanked me and went to a register, and he put 6 items to scan. Came to about $40. He bagged those and put them back in his cart. While I was paying for it, he grabbed more bags and ended up with everything in his cart put into a bag. Yeah, you just got scammed, bro. I handed him his receipt, and he thanked me profusely and headed out. I just turned a blind eye and started ringing my stuff. I don't know if he got out the door okay or not. It wasn't my intention to help him steal those other items. I wanted to help. I wanted his kids fed, but I also know I was likely being scammed. Thoughts? Yeah, I agree with one of the top comments on this. Probably got scammed, but it's not on you. You did a kind thing. Yeah, definitely. Her heart was in the right place. She was just trying to be helpful, but this guy was like a whole criminal, most definitely. Like she got scammed. Okay, story number 4. It's on r/askhr. I accidentally found out I'm getting fired. Wow, that's a weird situation to be in. Basically what the title says. My coworker asked me, 32 female, to log into her email while we were on a Zoom call to show me how to monitor/organize her emails in certain folders while she's out of town. Well, a subject line popped up that said, quote unquote, my name's equipment, and she immediately archived the email thinking I didn't see it. Immediately, I knew something was up because I didn't get that email concerning my work equipment, nor I have had issues with anything. Against my better judgment, I found the original thread in her inbox after the Zoom was done, and sure enough, it said I was to be terminated. I've never been fired in my life and only been with this company for 6 months. I know. I should have let it be and gone about my day. Now, heck no. Don't let it be and go about your day. You found out some dirt about yourself? Figure out a way to be funny with it. That's my only advice. I've been dealing with a severe neck injury these past 2 months that has affected my A game at work, and I've apologized for any inconvenience it caused. Other than doctor's appointments for obvious reasons, I've never called out a single day of work since I started. You called out. You can't help being injured, but at the same time, as long as it didn't happen at your workplace, your employers don't care. As sad as that is, that's just the way it is. Like, if it were a workers' comp thing, they'd be on top of it and they'd be okay with it, but people are cutthroat, man. I just feel confused on the situation at hand and trying to figure out my next steps. Edit. I just want to clarify, this was not an on-the-job injury. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Within this company, we monitor each other's inbox regularly. It's weird, I know. I talked to my soon-to-be husband, and we discussed me taking this as a blessing in disguise and as an opportunity to take some time off from work and focus on my health and finishing my degree. I've been working full-time and taking college courses for 3 to 4 years now, and it's mentally taxing to say the least. I appreciate everyone's advice and support on this matter. Thank you for listening. Yeah, I've got no other comments on this one other than, take it as a blessing in disguise. If you can, go finish your degree, figure out your injury. And it sounds like this place was shady anyways for firing you so quietly like this. That's what I would do. This next one's from r/am I overreacting? Am I overreacting for thinking my psychiatrist asking to move in with me is inappropriate? No, bro. I don't even have to read the post. You're not overreacting. That's wild. Anyways, let's see what they have to say. So, last week I had an appointment with my psychiatrist and I had disclosed to her that my husband and I were buying a house. She asked details of the house and when we were closing, so I told her. She then replied with, "That's perfect. I just need 1 bedroom and a kitchen. I like to cook." Of course, at first I thought she was joking, but then she went on. She goes, "I told my landlord I'm moving out of my current place because the commute is too far, and I'm looking for something closer to work. Would you be willing to rent out a room to me? She then showed me text threads with her current landlord who was praising her for being a good tenant. I kind of brushed it off and said, well, I don't know about a room, but the place we're renting now will be available once we move out. And she said that that would be nice, but she was looking for something cheaper. As our session ended, she told me to call her if I needed her, and then she said, but I might need you first. Now, my husband thought it was funny when I told him, my best friend thinks this woman should not be a psychiatrist. I've had previous uncomfortable encounters with her where she told me my miscarriage happened because I wasn't happy enough. Wow. In this most current session, she told me it's because my baby knew that we didn't own a home yet. Yeah, dude, fire your psych. Get a new one. Am I overreacting thinking that this person is wildly inappropriate? No. Update to add, she's a psych nurse practitioner, not a psychiatrist. That's my bad. Still, psych NP, she went to school for, 6 years. That's, I'm pretty sure that's a doctorate, nurse practitioner. Update, to everyone saying, I don't know how you kept seeing her after the miscarriage comment. Well, honestly, I was blaming myself anyways. She wasn't saying anything that I hadn't already thought of. I see now that it was wrong, but at the time, she was just saying what I was saying to myself every day. I will not be going back to her. I now know I should have left, but I was literally grieving and feeling guilty anyways. Update. I'm reporting her and switching providers. Thanks for all the comments. Top comment. Is she a licensed therapist? Yes, this is a massive violation of your personal and professional relationship. Does she work on her own or part of a group of therapists at an office? If she works for a group, I would call up and ask to speak to a manager. I would ask for a different therapist or a referral to a different office. Tell them the story about what happened. Yeah, that's, like I said before, that's absolutely bonkers. I'd get a new psych instantly. I would have gotten a new psych at the miscarriage comment. Like, you're not happy enough. It's because you don't own a house. Like, bro, the baby doesn't know that. All right, story number 6 is from r/am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for giggling at a family's problems during an HOA meeting? Depending on the problems, this is most definitely something I would do. This happened this past Sunday. My dad and stepmom are out on a small trip, and I'm pet sitting their cat and staying at their apartment while they're out. My dad asked me to attend the HOA. Not sure how to call it. We live in Mexico and we don't have an HOA in the US sense. Meeting due to some points about renovations and other important issues would be touched upon. During the meeting, there was an open mic moment to discuss other matters in a more neutral way. One of the neighbors, a woman that we'll call Carol, raised a concern about the ongoing issues with the quote-unquote gang that's been terrorizing the complex for a while now, and how nothing had been done to stop this. The gang in question, a group of kids between 6 to 10 years old. All right, so Carol is actually a Karen. Their quote-unquote clear gang activities, talking about games in the elevators/corridors, playing in the main plaza after school, going from Tower A to B to pick up some other kids, or getting toys out to go play. I know some of them. They sometimes come to the apartment asking for Band-Aids or get one of my nephews to go play with them. Really good kids in my opinion. Most outrageous thing they've done was hit a garden light with a ball and breaking it, which they took full accountability for and told management as soon as it happened. According to Carol, the kids are an issue and they made her feel highly uncomfortable because she can tell all of them are quote-unquote up to no good. Her daughter, a mid-teen, added that she feels so insecure when she's home alone because more than once the kids have come to her door and tried the door handle, banged on it, they've even tried picking the lock. Mind you, her apartment is across from my dad's and the kids only knock on his twice a week when my nephew is there. And that she also feels unsafe walking anywhere near the plaza because she felt quote-unquote perved on by, again, a bunch of kids between 6 and 10 years old. The husband was also very mad because, according to him, he's seen them running around the underground parking lot and I quote, keying cars and trying to open them, probably to steal the car or whatever's inside. Which cannot be true because all minors need to be accompanied by an adult or a security guard to access the parking area to avoid any accident. I couldn't help it and snorted, then giggled when Mr. Dad added to the whole bit about kids trying to steal cars because, as we all know, kids are into that kind of stuff. Carol began to ask what was so funny, why I thought that quote-unquote gang activity was funny, when I could be the next one to be attacked. I probably messed up by telling her that. I doubt that a bunch of kids who looked for anthills to kick are crime masterminds, which of course got a couple of giggles from other neighbors. I couldn't help it and snorted, then giggled when Mr. Dad added that a whole bunch of kids trying to steal cars, because as we all know, kids are into that kind of stuff. Carol began to ask what was so funny and why I thought the quote-unquote gang activity was funny when I could be the next one to be attacked. I probably messed up by telling her that. I doubt a bunch of kids who look for anthills to kick are crime masterminds, which of course got a couple giggles from the other neighbors. Carol is now mad at me and my dad for raising quote-unquote someone who supports gangs. My dad doesn't give a shit because he hates Carol, and my stepmom is also mad at me for not taking this seriously. In some way, somehow, am I the a-hole? No, not at all. That's like a whole family of Karens, for sure. They're just kids having fun. I don't get why these people have to be so annoyed by laughter and joy. Like, I doubt that these kids were trying to pick their lock. They probably just knocked on the door. I don't know. This next one's from r/Dusty Thunder. I reported my coworker and hope she gets fired. I, 32 female, have worked in retail for 5 years and have never felt as threatened as I did today. Last month, a worker from another branch store helped us out when we were shorthanded. Problem is, she's a grade A female dog. In the 1 week she helped out, she acted like she ran the place and treated our employees with racism. One worker, who happens to be African American, waited till dark so it wouldn't be so hot to go outside and take out the trash. The female dog called our manager and said, "I think he's dealing drugs." That's bonkers. Manager asked if she had proof. Could she see him? She said no. The next day, our morning shift person, who happens to be Muslim, was given dirty looks just because she wears a hijab. She asked, "Why are you here?" Everyone at the store feels threatened by her, and we made it clear she's not welcome to work there anymore. She put in her 2 weeks notice, but after a few days took it back, saying she wanted to keep working with the company. This weekend, I've been asked by the manager in her store to cover for a few days. Yesterday, I bought a newspaper and used the self-checkout. I was buying the Austin Times, but the machine read it as the Houston Times. That same female dog reported me for committing fraud. I spoke to the district manager, and he said it was just a price error from the machine, not to worry. Today, I put on a pair of gloves to put hot dogs on the mini grill. Again, this female dog sees me and says, quote unquote, "You're supposed to use tongs, not pick them up with your hands." She writes me up for a health violation. The manager sent me a text to leave the cabinet in the office unlocked so the night shift person can scan and take count of the books. The female dog says, quote unquote, "No, it's my job to make sure it's locked. It's management's job to scan and count the books." I tell her it's the manager's orders. So, what does she do? She reports me for security infraction. I reported this to the district manager. My manager pointed out this all seems to be retaliation. She's not welcome at our store, and her manager trusts me more than he trusts her. We're making a report to HR. Both stores cannot stand her, and I hope she gets fired. Yeah, I hope this girl gets fired too. Like, she is just looking for problems. Like, she's horrible. I'd hate to work with somebody like that. Let me know if you guys have worked with somebody like that. Because if so, I feel bad for you. Like, I don't think I have, and I just want to hear if other people have. All right, story number 8. It's from r/Petty Revenge. Ooh, I'm going to enjoy this. Neighbor kept parking in my spot, so I made him famous. My apartment complex has assigned parking spots, and mine is clearly marked with my unit number. But this one guy who lives across the courtyard kept parking his lifted truck in my spot because it's closer to his door. Oh yeah, that's how I know this is in the US. I asked him nicely multiple times to stop. He'd just say, "Oh, sorry, bro," and do it again the next day. I left polite notes on his windshield. Nothing worked. I was just having to park 3 blocks away and walk home with groceries. I left polite notes on his windshield. Nothing worked. I was having to park 3 blocks away and walk home with groceries. Finally, I got fed up and decided to get creative. I made a TikTok account and started posting videos every time he parked in my spot. I'd film his truck with his license plate visible and give play-by-play commentary about this, quote-unquote, parking spot thief who can't read numbers. The videos were starting to get views and comments from people in our city recognizing his truck. Someone even figured out where he works, and apparently his coworkers started teasing him about being quote-unquote TikTok famous for being a parking jerk. Last week, his girlfriend commented on one of my videos telling me to take them down and that I was harassing her boyfriend. I replied that he could avoid the negative attention by simply parking in his own spot. He hasn't parked in my spot since and actually avoids me completely now. I kept the TikTok account though because some of the videos got like 50k views. Yeah, I feel like this guy deserved everything that was coming his way. Like, even after the TikTok account was made, he kept parking in the spot and kept giving her content to post and made himself look like a jerk and made himself get famous online. Like, that is all on you, my boy. I don't know what to tell you about that one. Anyways, that's all the Minecraft and Reddit stories I've got for you today. If you enjoyed, please drop a like and sub. If not, I don't know what to tell you.